Okay, so Facebook looks like it's going. Instagram is going. YouTube's going. Alright, let me go to my other window here. Just check on things. Okay, so now we can hit go live here. And we can hit go live here. And let me just check YouTube. Okay, YouTube looks good. Alright. Let me just make sure my correct headphones are. Yep, okay. Looks like we got input. More importantly, do we have output? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to assume we do because it's not telling me we don't. Okay, all right, well, hopefully this is not a silent live, but I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure we have audio. Okay, some really, really bad hurricane damage again. It's been quite the hurricane season this year. And I feel truly bad for the people in North Carolina who are still without necessities 2 weeks later, things like electricity. I know they're doing everything they can, but when, chunks of road wash away, it kind of complicates matters. We also have all the damage in Florida from Milton. I've heard rumors that Milton will be a one name, that they're going to probably retire Milton, even though it's a new name. They're probably, there's a good chance they're going to retire it. So it'll be a one and done. I didn't know they did that with hurricane names, but apparently sometimes they do. So my heart goes out to anybody who's still recovering from Helene, who is recovering from Milton, who was unfortunately hit by both. I know that happened too. My heart truly goes out to those people. If you are in an area nearby where you can help, please do what you can. I'm going to do what I can from here, which is probably just donating to worthy causes. But that money will funnel down and get to the people that need it. And it was kind of a weird week to travel. A hurricane will do that. As you probably saw, they closed Disney World. They closed Universal Studios Orlando. Um, in those situations, the first thing is always keeping the guests safe. I know Disney, I don't know if they did it for Milton, but I know in other hurricanes, if there's a day the parks are closed, like yesterday, sometimes they send characters around to the resorts to visit. I've seen pictures from other hurricanes of Chip and Dale watching cartoons with the kids in one of the lobbies at one of the resorts. They really do whatever they can to try to provide good quality entertainment, at least while they can, while it's still safe. I'm sure in the thick of it, everybody was hunkered down. But I do know they send the characters around. They try to put movies on. I know every resort has a certain theme and certain things that go with that. I know they emphasize those when the parks are closed too. I do know they canceled Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and those tickets got refunded. For those of you that have followed me a bit longer, you know that I had the same thing happen with Jollywood. It wasn't a hurricane, but it was a bad rainstorm, and they closed the parks early. They canceled Jollywood. Um, it happened to me early enough in my trip that I was able to take that ticket refund and just buy a one-day ticket to Hollywood Studios. So I still got my park time. I just didn't get my Jollywood. So I have Jollywood booked again this year. We'll see if hopefully the weather will be a little more cooperative. Maybe it'll be cold instead of wet, and I'll get to experience it. I do want to see some of those classic characters, Phineas and Ferb, and some of the other characters that don't come out quite as much that will be making an appearance, and of course Kermit and Miss Piggy and the Muppets are going to be part of it again this year. So I'm excited for that. There's also some cool food options in the different parts of the park, and of course, it's separately ticketed event, so you have lower crowd levels. So you're probably going to get to ride some of those rides you really like. I might actually make it on to Slinky Dog, although I made it last year. We were lucky enough to get it with our lightning lane. So we'll see. We'll see. I booked Disney World for 2025. Um, the family that booked it or is handling, is dealing with the family piece of the trip, has traveled with me multiple times, and this time they're bringing, her parents usually come with them. This year, the in laws and her sister are also coming. So it's turned into a three-room family trip in February for a birthday celebration. So that's got me really excited. I love working with clients. I love repeat clients even more because I know them better and I can tailor the trip, and we already have some of those things. I already know their daughter's favorite character and those kind of things, which so there's little details that make the trip even more special. So it's really cool. But I also love working with clients and getting to know them for the first time because you have to do that to be a repeat client. Um, but I know there are people in the world that are really in dire straits, and I know the week's been kind of wonky. So I'm gonna share a couple book series I'm excited about. I read them on the plane. I like to read at night before I go to bed. I've always been an avid reader since kindergarten when I read Charlotte's Web. I remember my aunt bought me that book, and I remember going in the bookstore. I think it was first time. I'm sure I was in a bookstore earlier than that, but it's the first time I really remember being in a bookstore and seeing all the books and the smell of the books, and they've always been kind of magical for me. So I have recently, in the past couple years, I've been reading a lot of cozy mysteries. I'm currently just finished. I'm waiting for the new one to come out in the next couple weeks. The Kate Carlisle Fixer Upper Mysteries. I also love the Meg Laszlo or Langslow Mysteries from Donna Andrews. She's got a new one. There's a holiday one dropping later in October for her series. The Tori O'Shea Mysteries by Rhett McPherson, even though she's not actively writing them anymore. Um, they're a longtime favorite for me. She stopped writing them, and like a couple years later, she brought another one out, but there hasn't been one in a while. So I don't know if she's done or if they're just coming out further apart. But if she writes another one, I will read it. Um, I also do some what do they call it? Urban fantasy. There's a new book coming out in the Hollow series by Kim Harrison, the Rachel Morgan series. There's always the Pierce Bronson series. There's Red Rising was the original one, and then I think he's got two more trilogies that build on that. I know he's got. I know there's one more out. I think there's a third one that's underway. I'm a little behind on those. I got to get caught up. I love to read on the plane. I love to pop in my earbuds and do my playlist of my favorite songs. Sometimes I just kind of chill and try to get a power nap in, especially on the way home, because I know when I get home, I got to find my suitcase and I got to schlep all the way to the parking lot, and then I got to get in the house and get unpacked enough that I can go to bed. Because, as you know, I like to fly in early and get, if not not a park day, some Disney spring times in on my first day, and I like to stay later in the day on my last day so that I can get some park time in, or again, some Disney springtime, some resorts, some last minute shopping. Maybe go to the PhotoPass shop in Disney Springs and get a last round of pictures. There's so many things you can do on that last day. Don't forget, starting in 2025, when you check in on your first day of your Disney trip, you will get free water park entry. So if you don't think you've got enough time that day for a theme park necessarily, maybe you want to settle in and go over to the water parks for a couple hours, and then maybe go back to your hotel, get cleaned up, get changed, and head to Disney Springs and grab a good meal, or Check out a meal at a restaurant at a different resort. There are lots of things you can do in Disney without a park ticket. I know that there's a lot of focus on the parks, but don't forget there are great restaurants in every resort. There's all the cool things in Disney Springs, restaurants and shops and the balloon and all the other cool stuff you can do. There's Irish music at Raglan Road most evenings. There's also Irish dancing most evenings. You do I think you can probably hear the music from outside of the restaurant if you want to sit on one of the benches and catch a song or two. But you definitely need a dinner reservation to watch the Irish dancing. What else? Other cool things to do. Gideon's, the ganachery. You can get a cupcake from the cupcake ATM at Sprinkles. There are always cool decorations. You can do the rooftop at Coca-Cola. I finally got to do that last year. That was really cool. I'm going to do it again next year. Let me wake my screen up because I keep forgetting to change my setting. You would think after a month that I'd remember, but somehow I keep forgetting. So sorry about that. Um, so there's all kinds of cool stuff to do. One of the other things I always make sure I do when I travel, especially when I've had a park day or I've spent the day in Disney Springs and I've gotten a lot of steps in, make sure you wash your feet at night. If you don't want to wash them, dunk them in the pool. Go sit on the side of the pool for 10 minutes or the hot tub. But you want to get all that sweat and sunscreen and ick off them so you don't get blisters and so that they're nice and clean and they can get their best night's sleep for the next day when you're going to need them. Couple other Disney tips, that all that stuff you're afraid of forgetting the first, that last morning right before you catch your flight, if you're an early morning flyer, stick it in your shoe or stick it in your carry-on and put the strap of your carry-on bag around your shoe. If you've got to move it to put your shoe on, chances are you're going to remember and you're not going to forget it. That also works well on your morning that you're exiting your hotel room and going back to the airport. Something else you can do, all your, sorry, I don't know, I have the cough today. I haven't had it in a while, but it's getting to be the season. It's that October allergy season as the leaves start to drop. It's kicking up for me. Um, put all your chargers, all your important stuff on a towel. It can be a bright colored one that you bring from home. It can be one of the ones from the hotel room, but put it all in there, roll it up, drop it in your bag. If it's the hotel towel, of course, shake it out. Make sure everything's in your carry-on, and then you can put it in your dirty towel stack. I didn't lose. I misplaced my AirPods the other day. So I bought myself a new AirPod case. Couldn't resist. He was so cute. I have a thing for Forky. What can I say? I have a thing for most of the characters, to be honest. I also, when I was looking for something the other night, found this guy. Now, I guess you can see him lighting up okay. He's from 2021, but he comes out every Halloween and visits for a bit. So he's hanging out on my desk. My cat thinks he's a toy, so he likes to be up on my desk where he's out of the way and away from the big scary Kit Kat. There was something else I was going to say and I got distracted. Uh-oh. All right. As always, I am more than happy to answer your travel questions, send you a quote. And for everybody who is out there dealing with the storm damage and figuring out how to dig out and move forward, my heart is with you. My heart is with Florida. My heart is with North Carolina. And I'm hoping that we get some dry weather and these people get a chance to get things shored up a little bit before the cooler weather rolls in. So everybody stay safe, stay well. If you can help out somebody that's been displaced by any of these weather-related issues, please do. And I'll see everybody next week. Have a great week ahead.